In today's Pokemon Market update, we're going to touch on Surging Sparks and 151, sealed in singles from both sets because things continue to get absolutely wild. Starting off with the Pikachu SIR from Surging Sparks. Now, this is up 60% on the 3-month chart. It looks really good, obviously. Pre-release prices were $300, ran up to almost $600, back down to $430, and it's really stabilized at just under $500. Last sold, actually, though, is $499, somewhere below that, so I think it might take a little while to get back up to that price, but it's very interesting. It's holding pretty strong here. In the last month, though, obviously it's coming off of that high, so it's down technically 7%, but this rebound's looking pretty solid. It'll be very interesting to see where this card ends up. 53 copies currently available on TCG Player for the Pikachu. Now, booster boxes, 71% growth in the past 3 months. Not super surprising. We've known for a while that this set was going to be crazy. And you can see the 3-month low is 114 all the way up to 215 current market price. And last sold's pretty consistent. 215's down the board. I think it's just a matter of time until this thing chugs along to 220, 230, 240, 250. Speaking of this set, I am looking at possibly offloading a few boxes. I'm aiming for the $300 mark, but we'll see. At 250 is when I'll start considering it. Other than that, I'll just keep them in the closet, keep them for a long-term hold. But if you're interested in Surging Sparks, I am doing a giveaway, so go back a few videos, and I'm giving away a bunch of stuff, but Surging Sparks booster box is one of them, so if you want to enter, you got to watch and comment on that video. But that's not what this is about. So booster boxes looking pretty solid. They had that dip right here. Somebody dumped like a ton of them for like 180. Anyways, we've surpassed past that. 602 currently listed. Let's get into some singles. This is the Latias. This card was very interesting, kind of Greninja-esque a little bit, because it came out 216, went down to like 180, then popped all the way up to 260, back down to 230, and it seems like it might be kind of holding there. I don't know, we'll see. A little run up, a little run down. Another one of those cards, very difficult to pull. If you're not familiar, the SIRs from this set are 1 out of 960 packs to pull a specific SIR. 230, pretty solid $230 card, I think, for the Latias. It's a connected art card, popular enough Pokemon. Now, this is the big surprise for me. Now, gold cards, harder to pull than the SIRs. 1 out of over, like, I think it's 1,000 something packs for the gold card. This Pikachu is up 324% in the past 3 months. Pre-release prices, pre-release was $40. Then it went up to 120. People thought it was crashing. Back down to 98. Then up to 200. And then back down. It's coming down a little. Last sold's pretty consistent 160s. There's some 170s in here. So this card's coming down a little. There's a new version of this card coming out. It's in the Trastal Festival Japanese. But it'll be very interesting to see what the English card does in Prismatic Evolutions. It's like the same version of this card, but everything's gold. It's like the same art. It kind of pops. So that'll be another one to keep an eye on just because of how expensive this card is. So yeah, very, very interesting there. Next up, real quick, shameless plug. I had somebody ask, I had this sweater. If you guys want to, 'twas never a phase. If you want to pick something up, link will be in the description. Sorry, back to the video. The Milotic. The Milotic, similar thing, 46% up. $100 down to 80. Then just was like, I'm going to double. Went to 160. It's come off that a little. Market's at 146. Last sold's 156, 146, 156. So yeah, it's probably going to hold around this price, I would suspect, for a little while at least. I also wanted to talk about the ETBs. So the Pokemon Center ETBs are finally starting to move, like decent gains, I would say. These went like 14% growth in a 1-month chart. That's pretty good. It went from a low of like 103 up into the 120s. So good growth on the Surging Sparks PC ETB. And 123, 125, 118. So pretty accurate pricing there. We got a few more cards from the set to talk about, and I think another ETB. The Hydreigon, this card, 43% growth in the past 1 month. So very great gains there from 70 up into the 1-teens. However, last sold's actually at 150. So it'd be interesting to see if this card continues to run. I don't think it's going to go, at least not yet. 60 copies available on TCG, so got to give it some time there. But that was an interesting sale at 150. This is a cool card. Then, okay, I have a little bit of a story about this card. Now, I'm absolutely gutted about this. 105% in the past month. It went from like it was crashing. Like we'll go back to the 3-month pre-release. I saw it at like 92. I really like this card. I wanted to pick it up, either in a PSA 10 or a raw copy to grade, and it was crashing and went down to like right here. This is where I saw it. I was like 48. Okay, I'm gonna wait. It's gonna get into like high 30s. It's gonna crash. I'm gonna pick up a copy or 2 or 3. Nope, it shot up. I didn't get it. Shot up to 108. It's come back down just a tiny bit. Last sold's 102, 108, 97, 100. But I'm absolutely gutted. This last month chart looks insane. 105% growth. Difficult card to pull. I was hoping it was going to be the one that fell through the cracks. I should have picked up copies, but I didn't. It is what it is. Everyone makes that mistake, right? You're always waiting for the drop, and sometimes it just doesn't come all the way. Or you're there and you just, yeah. Anyways, guilty. We all do it. Regular ETBs. We've touched on this recently a little bit too, but 56% growth in the past 3 months from like high 30s up to $70. Market's at 72. Last sold 73, 70, 71, 73. So pretty consistent pricing on the regular ETBs. That's very impressive. That's how you know this set is really strong, when it's a booster box set and regular ETBs are going for 70. So that's pretty wild right there. Then even the little Pikachu, we pulled this card in our opening, but it's up 61%. They have market at $41, 79 copies available. Went from a low of 23 up to 40. We'll zoom out. Pre-release prices were at 35. Yeah, and it went back down into the 20s, and it's just shot up. Last solds, there is a 30 last sold. However, before that, it's all 40s. 47, 42, 40. So that's very interesting. It seems like, I made this comparison. It happens a lot in sports cards. The rookie cards are expensive, or the SIR. People will settle for the next best thing. And this kind of falls down the line there. As if they can't afford the other ones, can't afford the gold, you're going to move down to the next best card. So, yeah, it's nice to see this card doing pretty decent, though. I'm happy about that. I mean, I do own it, so yeah, I'm all about it. We're going to look at the promo. This is the Pokemon Center stamped promo from the ETB. It's not up insane, but 18% off of pre-release prices, which was $40. It actually crashed down, not really a crash, but it went down to 37. It's come back up to 49, and then it's come off that a little. Last sold 43. There's a 60 in here, which is interesting. 45, 45, 45, and another 50 down here. So interesting to see on the Magneton. We'll see as the Pokemon Center ETBs continue to climb, if this promo will continue to bump up a little bit. You would suspect that it would. So, yeah, I'm sitting on, haven't opened any of my Pokemon Center ETBs. Got them all sealed. I was thinking about opening it and grading some of these Magnetons, but I'm a little too scared. So, I'm keeping them sealed. But that's a play that people do. You can make a lot of money that way. It just depends on the luck of the draw with that. Now, I want to jump over to 151. And it's just, this set, you think, oh, it's going to level out. It's going to level out, and it just continues to run. It's absolutely wild. So this is the Pokemon Center ETB. They got market at 261. Last sold, 277, 280, 277. Pretty consistent $280 box. 74% growth. It went from 147. And this was the part that it gets everyone, right? It goes up to the 220s and kind of falls off. And you go, okay, yeah, it's going to level out. Just continues to climb. Absolutely wild. People are ravenous for this set. 151 is a tank. Not just the PC ETBs. The UPCs are continuing to climb. 246 market, last sold is 248. So continuing to climb even off that. Pretty consistent 248 sales. Like, super consistent. This set just keeps climbing. It cannot be stopped. All you guys, all you 151 diehards in there, I give it up to you. Not that I don't like 151. I love 151. I'm an OG, so I love 151. But there is some absolute 151 diehards in the comments. They're like, 151 is the only investment. You guys are doing really well if you're only investing in 151. 78% growth in the past 3 months. A low of 130. 132 up to 240s. That's wild. I mean, just the last month is 15%. And we'll do this just to make everyone put it in perspective. A year ago, could have had these for $97. Yep. UPC is doing very well. The set overall is doing very well. The normal ETBs were at 123 market, 58% growth. 3 months ago, you could have had this for 76. Now we're at 120. That's, yeah. 1 month shows 21% growth. We'll zoom out to the 1 year again. Absolutely filthy, 149% growth. 1 year ago, this was a $46 box at the low. If a set has never been more ripe for a massive reprint, I have never seen one. But anyways, we're not getting that right now. Last solds, there's a few actually higher. There's 115, 128, 125, 127, 128. For the regular ETBs, let's take a look at a few singles from the set as well. This is the Charizard. So this is another interesting one. Continuing to chug. The market is continuing to show its strength. The Charizard is up 76% in the past 3 months. So this is the big jump that it had up to just over 200. It went from 120 to 210, and then it kind of fell off for a little while, kind of cool off, right? A lot of people were selling their copies. And that's, you want to see a little retrace. It's very healthy, right? You can't just have up and up growth forever. So 210 down to 180s. Then it climbed, came back down, and now we're seeing 220. There is a 189 last sold, but before that, 240, 230, 230. So yeah, 220, 230-ish seems pretty accurate for the Charizard here. That's wild. We'll take a little zoom out on this card as well. 86% in the past year. It looks like the low was somewhere around here in April of around, it almost went sub 100, 102. 102, 103 was the low. And yeah, that's some really, really insane growth on the Charizard, leading the way. Not the most expensive card of the era, but doing really well. So yeah, that's nice. I haven't checked PSA 10 sales in a while. If you have, leave in the comments. Let me know what the PSA 10s have been going for recently. I haven't checked. Then we have the Venusaur. I love this card. I absolutely love this card. This card's in the second slot. It passed the Blastoise. So underrated. And similar chart here. You're going to see it's up 72% on the 3 months. From 46, had a big run up to 76. Kind of fell off a little bit, back down to the 60s. And now we're at a 1 year high of $80. Last sold's a little lower though. Card might be coming down. 73, 70, 71, some 60s, some 70s, a 120. So looks like this card's probably coming back down a little bit. But it's nice to see. I thought an interesting level on all of these cards would be if they surpassed this big high, which this card pretty much just barely did. But yeah, a low of $35 on the Venusaur, up to 80. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on this card as well. Similar charts on the Blastoise, it's nothing too crazy. Well, I did not have the Blastoise pulled up. I'll pull it up for you guys real quick right here as this loads. I don't think the chart's looking too much different though, if I remember. Yeah, so 37% growth. Went from up to 77, back down to the 60s, up to 70. Now it's kind of fallen off. Looks like the Venusaur might be falling off again a little bit too. They're kind of going in tandem there on those cards. Now, the Zapdos. This is my favorite card from the set. I think it's absolutely stunning. I think it should be way more expensive. Personally, I just absolutely love it. It's just as difficult to pull. I would love to see this card in the $100 range. I just think it's stunning. Obviously, the market does not agree with me because it's only $56, but we are seeing a similar thing. It had a little run up, went from 36 up to the 50, back down into the 40s, and now we're seeing a 1 year high on the Zapdos. You got all three legendary birds in the card, absolutely stunning. Last sold's 52, 59, 54. There's a 47, 50, 59. So kind of a little bit all over the place. We'll see where this card probably going to come down a little. There's 116 copies on TCG Player. The 1 year chart looking pretty good as well. Not as good though. Only 32% growth. It's $42 down here. It fell off a little bit down to 31. 31 up to 56 is a pretty solid gain, but apparently undervalued. In my opinion, undervalued. So those are the singles I wanted to touch on. There's a lot of 151 doing similar stuff. We're not going to touch on every card from the set. It's mainly the sealed I wanted to talk about, and it's not everything. It's not everything. The booster bundles are actually coming down a little. I think I was seeing some restocks of the booster bundles, and that's to be expected. If you're getting them at MSRP, you're going to resell them and still make some money. So these went from, in September, 41 up to in the 60s, and then they just fell off into the 50s and falling even further. They have market at 54, but last sold's 50, 50, 50. Before that, 62 and like mid 50s. So it's not every single product. When we are getting some restocks, we are seeing vending machines restocked that for regular ETBs. So that's interesting there. Restocks are happening. Like I said, they're hard to find. They seem like they're becoming like few and far between, is the unfortunate thing of 151. And you know what? I want to pull up. We'll take a look at a few more cards here, just to take a look. Let's see. I wanted to pull up. Let me exit out a few of these tabs real quick so we have some room. Let's take a look at the starters right here, and then we'll go to page 2 and take a look. So the Charmander, yeah, okay, I remember this. So the Charmander is once again kind of coming off of that high, this high right here, just a little. We're from 51 down to 50, so nothing too crazy. Last sold is 50, 58, 50, yeah, so about 50-ish, I would say. That's a fairly accurate price. The Squirtle, take a look at this guy real quick. Sorry, I did not have I like to have them pulled up beforehand, but I'm sure you guys don't mind. 36% growth. It's kind of a similar thing. It's coming off of this 44 down to 38. Now up to 44 again, so it'll be interesting if it surpasses this. 1 year chart, 65% growth. 158 copies. Absolutely adorable version of Squirtle, by the way. Love this card. 47, 47, 47 last sold. So this might be coming up just a little bit more on the Squirtle, actually. That'd be nice to see. The old Bulby. The old Bulby is up 54. So this one is up, actually. That's why we pull up all the cards. 54% growth. A low of 26 up to 43. And they have market at 44. Last sold 38. This might be coming down a little. 38, 35, 48, 35, 46. There's a $75 sale on the Bulbasaur. That's wild. So yeah, Bulbasaur probably going to come down a little off of this high, just like some of the other cards are. Maybe it's lagging a little bit behind. They tend to all kind of like follow each other for the most part, with obvious exceptions, but we'll see what else we have to touch on. I don't think there's a ton of the lesser stuff that's moving. I did want to, we'll check on the Pikachu just because of Surging Sparks. We'll take a gander at this guy. So this guy's doing well. 38% growth. That's not surprising. Not my favorite Pikachu card. I like the Pokemon in the background, but the way they drew Pikachu, it's fine. It's just not my favorite. But it went from a low of 20 up to 29. Most recent sale, a lot higher. We're seeing 37, 37, mid to high 20s, and then 35, 35. So I think the Pikachu is going to continue to run. This is going to bump this chart up, definitely up into the 30s, mid 30s. If it continues to go like this. However, there's a lot of copies on here, 207 available. If you want to pick one up that's not Japanese, I hate this. I absolutely hate this. They have a dedicated, I'm going to say it every time, just get them out of here, man. So yeah, maybe it's not going to move up to the 30s. You can get one for 25, 25, 25, 25. Yeah. It's going to stay at 20, going to come down a little, down into the 25s. There's a lot of copies available. So that's the reality of it. Yeah, it looked like it was going to run. I was wrong. Sorry. I had to. But if you dig in a little bit more, you can get a little bit better vibe for the card. So in summary, Surging Sparks, booster box at all-time highs. We had Surging Sparks PC ETB at not all-time high. Pre-release prices were pretty high, but starting to move, showing good growth. We got a lot of the SIRs from Surging doing really well. Even the basic Pikachu there, I can't remember the rarity. I'm in like Japanese. It's not a secret rare. Well, anyways, you guys will let me know in the comments. That one's doing really well. And 151, pretty much across the board, sealed, except for the booster bundle, sealed doing exceptionally well. The Charizard doing exceptionally well. Everything just absolutely insane. So it's a wild time. Not that, once again, it's always not that 151 can't do good. It's just, you'd think it would just level off for a while. Like, it has to chill for a bit. But no, it just continues to run. It'll chill just for like a small little fraction of time, and then it will just rip again. So, yeah. So for reprints, what we smoke on the street. I do not have a distributor, okay? So there's a secondhand information from me. But what we were hearing is that we won't know about reprints until February. We don't know what will be included. We don't know yet. So Surging, I would say, obviously, Surging and 151, very ripe for reprints. We'll see how big those are, what kind of effect that will have. That's remained to be seen. I wouldn't expect it to tank things, but per se, I'm thinking like 30% drops at most, probably around 20, and I'm basing that off of some of the other. Like, there's just too much momentum. There's too much momentum for these to drop too much. They'll come in, people will just snatch those prices up, and will continue to run. So it's just going to be a blip in the radar by the time things are said and done. So that's your market update for today. If you're 20 minutes into the video and you're not already subscribed, obviously you enjoyed the content. So do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button and go back to that video a few videos back. I'll try and link it here towards the end. But you guys can enter a giveaway. So you just gotta be subscribed, like, and comment. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. And remember, 'twas never a phase.